All right, so we have practice test 46, game 3. Exactly 6 guideposts are numbered 1 through 6, marking a mountain trail. Each of the guideposts pictures a different one of 6 animals, and our animals are a fox, grizzly, a hare, a lynx, a moose, or a porcupine. Okay, so our animals are a fox, a grizzly, a hare, a lynx, a moose, and a porcupine. And we are going, this is an ordering game because we're putting them in order from their guideposts. We have guidepost 1, guidepost 2, guidepost 3, guidepost 4, guidepost 5, and guidepost 6. All right, and now for our rules. 1. The grizzly is pictured on either guidepost 3 or guidepost 4. All right, so that's cool. So we know that the grizzly is either going to be on 3 or it's going to be on 4. 2. The moose guidepost is numbered lower than the hare. Okay, so the moose is lower than the hare. 3. The lynx guidepost is numbered lower than the moose. Okay, so see how we have a connection here with this moose? So I'm going to go ahead and put the lynx is lower than the moose. Oh, I shouldn't have drawn it so close to the wall. The lynx guidepost is lower than the moose guidepost, but higher than the fox. So that means that the fox is going to be even lower. So the only thing I want to point out here is that the porcupine is what we call a floater because there's no rules about it. So what I would do here is, so what that means about the porcupine though is that the porcupine can go anywhere. It could go first, it could go last, it could go here, anywhere. What I typically do whenever there's a little fancy rule like this where there is one that is kind of restricted on the number, where like this G is, I just go ahead and create a second world quick and I just put it in there and I don't do anything with it other than I'm like, okay, so the G is either third or the G is fourth. Cool. And then I just know that I have to follow these restrictions elsewhere and then my P can go anywhere. All right, so which of the following could be an accurate list of the animals, blah, blah, blah. Typical first question. So I'm going to first look at rule number 1, that the grizzly is either on 3 or 4. Works in A. Oh, but on B it doesn't happen, so I'm going to cross that off. C is good. D is good. And E is good. 2 is that the moose is lower than the hare. A is good. C is good. D is good. E is not good, so I'm going to cross that off. 3 is the lynx is lower than the moose, but higher than the fox. So I'm looking for FLM. Here, this part right here. So, A is good. C is not good because it has M lower than L, and we need it to go FLM. So I'm going to cross C off. And then D is not good because it has L before F. So our answer is going to be A. All right, number 2, which of the following animals cannot be one pictured on guidepost 3? So it's saying like, hey, who cannot go here? So if I were to predict an answer, who cannot go third? So let's go ahead and look at our constraints here. So we see that F could go, do we see like worst case scenario, what is the earliest that H could go? Not worst case scenario, any case scenario. Do we see here how H could never go third because it always has to have at least 3 ahead of it? And really it probably always has 4 ahead of it because really G is always going to be up there too. So is one of our answers H? Oh, we didn't get so lucky. So we're going to go ahead and, where H isn't an answer choice. So let's check out another one. So remember how we said, ooh, H, what about M? Oh, cannot be on guidepost 3. So let's think about it the opposite direction. If H can't be on it because there's so many ahead of it, let's think about it, F. Can F ever be on 3? So here, no, because do we see, if we were to fill this all in, where we have LM, we have nowhere for H to go. So F also could never be 3. Is that an answer choice? And that is A, so that would be our answer, and we would move on. If I were to check a wrong answer, so I'll just pick a random one like M. Could M be 3rd? We're going to be looking at this second one here because we're putting M in 3rd. Yes, because we can have F and L ahead of it, and then after it could go H and P, and it doesn't matter in what order. And so see how this works? That's how you would check out an incorrect answer. If it would happen, you would just cross it off. Cool. All right. Number 3, if the moose is oh, this is fun. This is literally what I just tested for you. If the moose is pictured on guidepost 3, then which of the following is the lowest number guidepost on which the porcupine could be pictured? So what this is testing us is, okay, so if we put M here, that means that G has to be 4th. That means F and L have to go ahead of it. And so what's the lowest number that the porcupine can go? 5. Because it could go here and H could go here. And so the lowest number possible is 5. So our answer is going to be D. All right, next question. If guidepost 5 does not picture the moose, so it's saying if 5 is not the moose, then which of the following must be true? Okay. So if 5 is not the moose, where is the earliest the moose could go? So if I were going to do this on my own, you're going to get to the point where you can just make these inferences. Like I already kind of know what this question's asking for. But let's say if the moose is not 5, so it can't go here. So and then world number 1, let me go 1 here. The moose would have to go in 4 because we have to have F and L ahead of it, right? Where in world number 2, if M is not in 5, it would have to be 3rd because F and L would have to go ahead of it, and we still have to have this H behind it. So, and then in both of these, it wouldn't matter where the, between 5 and 6, which one is P and which one is H. So if guidepost 5 does not have the moose, which of the following must be true? So what must happen? It's probably going to be that F is in 1 or L is in 2. But let's go ahead and read these. The L is pictured on guidepost 2. Yes, that must be true, so that's probably our answer. The moose is pictured on guidepost 3. This does not must be true or have to be true because the moose could also be on guidepost 4. So we're going to cross that one off. C, the grizzly is pictured on guidepost 4. Once again, this does not have to be true because the grizzly could also be on guidepost 3. So we'll cross that one off. The porcupine is on guidepost 5. No, because the porcupine could also be on guidepost 6. And the same with the E says the hare is pictured on guidepost 6. No, because the hare could also be pictured on 5. And that reassures us that the answer is A. All right. So let's erase some of this. Okay. 5. Which of the following animals could be pictured on any of the guideposts? I would probably go with our porcupine because it's our only floater. It could literally go anywhere. It doesn't matter because everything else has some type of constraint. just to test one of them out, like, so if I were going to walk through this and just not automatically pick porcupine for E, like F. F cannot go on 6, for example, because it has to have all of these behind it. H. H cannot go on 1 because it has to have all of these ahead of it. L. L can't go anywhere because L can't go first because F has to be ahead of it. And then M, once again, like there's constraints here because F and L have to go ahead of it. Porcupine is our floater, so it's the only one that doesn't have rules telling it where it can and cannot go. So that's a really quick answer, and you can save a lot of time by selecting that and just moving on. All right, and then lastly, number 6, if the moose guidepost is numbered exactly 1 higher than the length. Okay, so if the moose is numbered exactly 1 higher than the length. So that means that L and M are right next to each other. But remember, we still have our other rules here that we have to consider. So we still have F ahead of this, and we still have H behind this, and we still have P. Which of the following could be true? So what this is getting at is where can this L and M fit? And so if we were to look at our worlds here, so in world number 1, L cannot go here any longer because there's nowhere for the M to fit. So what's having us do is think about space. So we have to put our LM here. And what happens is we then would put our H in the back, and then it wouldn't matter for the front whether it was P or F that comes first. It could go either way. Now in world number 2, if our L and M can actually go in 1 and 2. But if this happens, what else do we know? We know that F would have to be first because F has to go before L. And then P and H could be either or in the back. So we could just have P and H back here. Doesn't matter which way. So this is saying which of the following could be true. So just like what could happen. So could guidepost 5 have the hair? Yes, that's probably our answer. Guidepost 4 has the moose. No, because if we look here, guidepost 4 never has the moose. Guidepost 4 has the porcupine. No, it never has the porcupine. Guidepost 3 has the lynx. No, because it either is the grizzly or the moose. Guidepost 3 has the porcupine. No, because it's either the grizzly or the moose. So that just reaffirms that our answer is A. And that would get us 100% on this too. I hope this helped.